Do you know that you are changing history right now? Are you aware of that? You are changing history right now. When I was little, forget about in the 19th century, how many women were in the workplace? How many women? So few. The norm was the father to be the breadwinner. Here we have a slide, statistic of 1976, where we see half the families, half the households, were the traditional families. The father went to work, the mom stayed at home cleaning the diapers. That was the way it was. But now, things have changed so much, so much. And what we see right now, that more than 3/3 of the households that you see in gray and light blue are now where women are going to work. In the gray, where they are going to work and there is nobody else making money in those households. And the light blue is both of them. So this has generated loads of changes in society, loads of changes. We think and we dream that this is what we want. I talk a lot with engineers, very young ones, in university, PhD students, and they dream that this is going to be their future. Now you know that in reality, it is nothing like that. We're so tired because we're supposed to do so much. So much. Why is this so challenging? Why is this so challenging? So let me introduce myself. I try not to fall in that picture. So I decided to be an independent woman. So I was in the corporate world. I became a very heavy executive. My colleagues were in their 50s, all men. There was no one single woman in that company. I was managing large contracts, millions of euros, dozens of people traveling first class all over Europe. I became, well, very cynical, very cold. I was just so arrogant. That sounds like a fantastic, no? The CV. I could have got wonderful jobs everywhere. But there was the other side of the reality. The other side, well, the CV. The other side of the reality is that I was empty. I was just absolutely empty. All the other parts that make a human being happy just did not have. There was no one plant in my house, a cat. I had no relationship with my parents. I had no relationship with my parents. Boyfriend? What are you talking about? Me, the boss? Who am I going to date? I am so above anybody because, of course, men are not good enough. That was my thinking. Now I am this person. Do you know what happened? I did not have cancer. I did not have a heart attack. I did not have a car crash. It was just one Sunday when I woke up and I said, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? This is not okay. My health is decaying. I was just so ill. The white of my eyes was yellow. I had pains in my left arm. I quit. And very fast everything got organized so that I could be here. And I tell you, this is 10 years ago. In 10 years, I have built this family. I have written lots of books. I have spoken in so many places, and it's such a pleasure to be here today. Now, do I have it solved? Well, no. My children are 4 and 6. My living room is messy. I can tell you that I don't have arguments with my husband because we follow some techniques that I will share with you. But I'm happy. I'm happy today. And tomorrow we'll see, because tomorrow we'll make a new effort to be happy tomorrow. And this flexibility is the flexibility that every organization and every family needs, and every individual needs. So, why is this so challenging? Why? I mean, we're just talking about that women went to work. What are we talking about? What we're talking about is that generates an amount of choice that is just mind-boggling. What many choices you have right now? You can take another assignment overseas. You can study your master's. You can study your PhD. You can get another child. You can move to this neighborhood. It's just so insane. Just go to your supermarket and stand in front of the coffee milk products. You can see hundreds. Can't count them. We get unhappier the more choice we have. And in a couple, in a family, the more choice we have makes us indeed happy. And it makes us unhappy as well because why is it so difficult to choose? Because there's a lot of choice, and because before we were expected to be some way. We were expected, the women, we were expected to be beautiful, silent, and adorable to the men. And the men were supposed to be strong, know it all, and take care of the family. So if you deviated from that path, you had a problem. If you wanted to go to university as a woman, if you had an opinion, you had a problem. If a man dared to say, I don't know, or a man dared to try, he had a problem. Now that we have in this side is that the new generation, and already we are building a brand new pattern of requirements for what it means to be a man or a woman. What does that mean? We are all defining it. I define it. I love to be feminine, but hey, I cut my hair. You define what it is to be a woman, you define what it is to be a man, you define what it is to be a father, you define what it is to be a mother. Hey, you will be criticized by the previous generation. The other part is, why is this so difficult? Because the conductual patterns that we inherit from our parents are just so ingrained in us, and they are not necessarily the best patterns that we need. One of the patterns that my mother taught me, a woman is nobody without a man. She's everything and nothing. And I did it for years. In fact, I run away from it. I did not want it to make it be true. And the problem is that when we have that pattern or that conditioning, the complexity of reality today doesn't match. So we're expected to do a lot with useless tools, through mental programming, in a difficult environment, this volatile, uncertain environment. So what can we do? Now you're getting all depressed in my talk. First I want to tell you, you see, it's exactly like dieting. I can tell you, you already know that carrots are good, you already know that a glass of water is good, you already know that, but it's not going to make an impact in your dieting. What is more high impact is what not to do. What not to do. So it's exactly the same with your couple. If you remember anything of this talk, I want you to remember this next slide of what not to do. It's like a killing five. The number one killing five is delay. I just see it repeated all the time. The company is at fault, Shell is at fault, it doesn't do enough things for me. The government is at fault, the laws are not good enough for me. My husband is at fault, my mother is at fault, everybody's at fault, but we never see that three fingers are pointing at us. The solution to blame is personal responsibility. So we really need, the first tool that we need to take is, okay, I'm going to take the bull by the horn, and I'm going to invent calisthenics to work. Number two is victimhood. Nobody understands me, I cannot do this. And they get into the victimhood and they just don't share it with anybody. And this is for men and women. That we just get into our victimhood and we don't solve problems because we are just poor little all size. Pleasing, this is an illness for all highly educated people. why we became so highly educated, why we have PhDs and masters, because we knew how to give the answer that they expected from us. We're very good at that. But we're really bad at saying, this is what I want. So for pleasing, you have to start exercising, choosing what you want. When you go for a cup of coffee and your friend asks for a tea, don't say, me too. Choose for yourself and ask whatever you want. That is your choice. Perfectionism. This is not good enough, and this is not good enough. I have to do it better, and I have to do it better. I just hear it with men and women. No? I have to be a better mother. I have to be a better professional. I have to be better, and I just see them, struggling. The burnout rate among women is just so high. And I'm sad to tell you another statistic that people don't talk about: the suicide rate in men is just crying. And this is because we're not good enough. Please appreciate yourself. You're just not good enough. You're awesome. You are awesome. You're changing history. Denial. Well, I don't know the ostrich head in the sand. But you're not those ones because you're here. I'm really proud of you. So what can you do? I can talk about it for a long time, but we have 20 minutes. So I decided I want to show you what it is, the framework that of the things that you can do. So of course, what I propose is that you take personal responsibility. Personal responsibility that you sit on the driving seat of your car, of your life, and you say, this is my stuff. This is my family, this is my career, this is my life. I'm going to do this way. And I offer you this framework that I came up with. I love this metaphor, the metaphor of surfing, because the environment is so like the sea. And how can you move there with somebody else? Because you might fall into the water, and you don't know, you may even break a leg. You need these 4 things. You need grounding, you need a surfboard. You need growth, you need your legs, the capability of flexibility. You need empathy, the possibility of communicating and really understanding your partner. And you need the ability to be agile. And I know that, these things I find them extremely interesting. But I know that the one that you are really curious about is this one. How am I going to take the decisions? Because that's the main problem, how to take decisions. So, I want to ask you a question. Are you a maximizer or are you a satisfier? What do maximizers do? The other day, my husband and I were going for dinner. We don't go for dinner often. And we had the chance to go anywhere, so we put a bargain. It has to be in Amsterdam, it has to be exotic, it has to have lots of stars, it has to... And we started looking at online, and the time started to tick, and we couldn't find a restaurant because it had to have this and that and that and that and that. And suddenly we found one that did not have all our variables, but had quite some of them. And we look at each other, hey, are we maximizers or are we satisfiers? Yeah, we stopped this search, we picked this one. That is the difference. The maximizers exhaust all the possibilities that there are. And again, this is an illness that we have highly educated people. The other day I was talking with a lawyer in my audience. She was researching which master she was going to study. And she had a pile of master programs all over Europe to assess. Why do you need that? Reviews. What do you want? I want this and I want that. 3 master programs, I picked this one. So we have to move from being maximizers to being satisfiers. And you know, guys, this is useful in your career and in your personal life. I just see people carrying bags of things, files in your computer because you have to do everything well. I see mothers with their diaper bags with all the things that they need to have because maybe something might happen. We don't need to be that afraid. So the other thing to make decisions is that I invite you to disrupt or die. You know what happens? When we are about to take a decision, we're really afraid that we are going to hurt somebody, that somebody's not going to like it. You know, the person who needs to like it is you. The person who needs to like it is you. And I talk about you as just a couple, you as a family. It's much more that our parents. This couple here is a Dutch man, a Dutch engineer, and an Indian dentist. They met in the UK. They have been disrupting for the past 10 years. They moved from one city to the other because they did not like that one. Then he did not like that much his job, so he stayed at home to take care of the children. So then they did not like that much that she was working and he was at home, so they moved and now they live in Kenya. I really love their example because this is daring. This is a lot of daring. And don't be afraid of being criticized. It's very important. Don't be afraid of rocking the boat, especially rocking the boat of your family. It's incredible how strong that is for us. So I want to give you 5 tips of how to become a satisfier. Our dear Leonardo da Vinci not just painted that use a mirror, painted and walk away from its painting, painted and turn it around, painted and turn it upside down. Think like Leonardo. Change your assumptions. Reverse what you are thinking. See it from a perspective. Think that you are 90 years old. Would you still take that decision? Think that if you are 2 years old, how could you explain that to these 2 years old? Think that you are a 19th century person. How would you explain the decision? Reverse your assumptions, really think it from all possible angles. Choose when to choose. The story of the restaurant. My husband chose when to choose because he left me the restaurant to solve it myself. Sometimes you don't need to decide. Budget your time. Like the lawyer told you, don't review all the masters. Say, 1 hour, I'll do this, and then I might go on. Limit the amount of information to take in. Don't explore all avenues, don't explore all variables. It is impossible. And I put scenario planning purposely here because I know that the scenario planning was created in Shell. And I love to use the scenario planning to become a satisfier. So I'm not going to explain scenario planning because I expect that you know a little bit of what that means. But what I want to tell you is that I will go deeper in these 4 subjects in agility, empathy, growth, and grounding next week during the Meet the Expert event in November 17 here at Shell. So you can come and you can just get to know more. And I have something else for you. In your papers already, in your notes that I put for you, you can see this URL. I have some gifts for you, like we're going to com/gifts. I have some handouts, a lecture, and if you want to talk to me, also a potential opportunity to have an individual coaching session with me. So, yes, you are changing history. Start believing it, start embracing it, because you are changing history.
Thank you very much.